well, I'll start. I'm Geraldine with the Career Development Center. And so I actually am one of your career coaches. So you have a coach based off of the major that you're in, but then also me to help you with some of that veteran to civilian kind of translation on your resume and in interviews and all of that good kind of stuff. So that's me.
Most everyone, I hope, knows who I am, but Jennifer Coffey, Program Director of Student Veteran Services, here to try to make sure that we are able to connect those dots for folks and help with that transition to graduate school if that's the path folks want to take. And I'm super excited that Dontrell and Geraldine are here to provide information for us today.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dontrell Parson. I have the opportunity to serve in the Office of Graduate Admissions, so thank you so much for being here today. I'll talk a little bit about just graduate admissions and things you just need to be mindful of if you are thinking about or considering pursuing a graduate degree or a program or just taking courses either way. But thank you so much for being here.
Cam, you want to introduce yourself?
Sorry. My name is Cameron Lucas, and I'm a sophomore at App State, and construction management is my degree I've chosen, and I'm not entirely sure as to exactly what master's I want to pursue. I think there's 3 within my department here, but I know I want to pursue one. I just haven't decided yet.
Jacob.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm a transfer student. I am a junior in the political science field with a minor in social work, and I'm open to grad school. I haven't put much thought into it, but I'm looking forward to hearing what opportunities are out there for me.
And Luke.
Hey, Luke Everhart. I'm a senior this year, chemistry major. I'm thinking about applying to a PhD program somewhere.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to share a little bit of information just in regard to graduate admissions, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and hand the baton off to Geraldine, and then we'll definitely go from there. But thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. One of the programs that we have in place in graduate admissions and overall School of Graduate Studies, we have a program that's called Accelerated Admissions. And Accelerated Admissions, it gives students the opportunity to potentially finish their undergraduate degree and their graduate degree within 5 years. That's the earliest that a student would be able to finish a graduate degree based on how many courses they may have taken previously. But it's called Accelerated Admissions. Start with a bachelor's, finish with a master's program. And that does vary from one graduate program to the other. But with Accelerated Admissions, in order to be eligible to be considered as a Accelerated Admissions student, a prospective student would have to be in the process of completing or earning 90 undergraduate credit hours here in App State, and the overall GPA requirement does vary from one graduate program to the other, and that can range based on the program anywhere from a 3.2 cumulative GPA to a 3.6 GPA, which depends on the program. But with Accelerated Admissions, our undergraduate students, they have the opportunity to enroll in graduate level courses, and with Accelerated Admissions, they can enroll in up to 12 credit hours of graduate level coursework. And that graduate level coursework will dual count, which means any graduate level coursework that you take as an Accelerated Admissions student, that will count towards your undergraduate degree requirements, and also that will count towards your graduate degree requirements, which is awesome. It's definitely a benefit. And also one of the other perks of applying for accelerated admissions. Our accelerated admission students are not required to take the GRE, which is a plus, because most students don't like taking a standardized test of any kind as it relates to graduate admissions or admissions in general. So that is one of the benefits of the accelerated admissions program. And as I indicated earlier, you can enroll up to 12 hours. And also for our student veterans, we do end up waiving the application fee. So therefore, for our student veterans, you're not required to pay an application fee. So what we'll end up doing at the point in time that you are going through the application process, what you can do is send us a copy of your DD 214 form or another form. And then what we'll do is take a look at that information. Then we'll go ahead. Once it's reviewed, then we'll waive your application fee. So just make sure to keep that in mind. Nothing you have to remember. I just wanted to mention it because we will remind you of that for sure. Also, in regard to the accelerated admissions program, as I mentioned before, you can enroll in up to 12 credit hours, but also you're not required to take all 12. I think it would benefit a student to take 12, but the minimum is 3. So as long as you complete at least 3 credit hours, then you're meeting the requirement in regard to the number of courses that you need to be enrolled in. But again, you have 12. Again, with the accelerated admissions program, you can enroll in up to 12 credit hours, saves time, saves money, skip the GRE, and also gives you the opportunity to stay at Appalachian just a little bit longer. And also really quickly, I'm going to show you a list of the programs that participate in accelerated admissions. So therefore you'll have an idea. Those of you that were interested based on your undergraduate program, other than Luke, who I think is a current chemistry major, we do offer accelerated admissions for, I think, all the programs that were mentioned. I'm gonna scroll through the list relatively quickly so you'll be able to see that.
Dontrell, you'll have to do a new screen share. We're unable to see yours.
You cannot see
the PowerPoint.
Okay. Thank you for making that known. I was unaware that you could not see it. All right, can you see the list now? Okay, that ranges from accounting all the way to technology. So you have a number of different options. We are encouraging our graduate programs to consider participating in the accelerated admissions program. It is an individual graduate program decision. We are definitely highly pushing and suggesting that our graduate programs participate in accelerated admissions. So it's a great option. So it's just something I definitely wanted to make you aware of. And then really quickly, I'm gonna go through a couple more things and then I'm gonna pass the baton to Geraldine. All right, a couple of things I definitely want you just to keep in mind when it comes to applying to graduate school. Geraldine's gonna give you a lot of information from a graduate admissions perspective. The biggest thing is that our office is going to be able to do is to map out the timeline for you within which you'll be going through the application process. And just know it's not anything we want you to worry about, to be apprehensive about. Our office is here to assist you. So any question that you have, we can definitely map out a timeline for you so you know exactly what you have to do when you have to do it. But 2 main things to be aware of. First and foremost is the graduate application deadline for the graduate program or programs that you're interested in. Just make sure to be aware of those. We have 3 major application dates or deadlines, which are February 1st, April 1st, and July 1st. Most of the programs that have been mentioned so far, the application deadline is either April 1st or July 1st. So we definitely encourage students, if you're part of the accelerated admissions program, the standardized tests such as the GRE, MAT, or GMAT, they're not required. But if you end up applying to a program or you don't participate in the accelerated admissions program, then you would be required to take the standardized exam. that's something we can work with you on. And also in regard to the standardized exam, whether that's a GRE or MAT or GMAT, whatever the test is, you can take that particular test at the testing center, which is on the second floor of the John Thomas building. And again, we'll assist you with that. But just know you can take those particular tests, at least on campus. Also, in regard to the application deadlines, one, in regard to communicating with our office, I'm here to help. Also, the graduate admissions team is here to help. One of my colleagues by the name of Victoria Carberg, I'll make sure to put her name in the chat and her email address so you'll have it. She's a great resource for graduate admissions. So if you have any additional questions, just make sure to let our office know, but she is a resource and a contact, which I wanted to mention. In regard to connecting with our office, one of the things I'm always mindful of in regard to communicating with any office in regard to phone calls. I know you know this. This does not apply to any of you whatsoever. But if you reach out to our office, just make sure to, as we tell all students, just make sure to leave your name and your phone number when you call. Some individuals call and say, hey, this is John. Give me a call back. Look forward to speaking with you. But I have no idea what the phone number is. I'm not sure what the last name is. So it's general stuff. It happens. It happens. The students' excitement to learn more about graduate school at Appalachian, then they forget to leave their contact information. Also, we have programs called First Fridays, where it gives prospective students the opportunity to talk with our current graduate students, our graduate student ambassadors, and also graduate program representatives. So it's an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more on what it's like to be a graduate student at Appalachian. Those First Friday events are on the graduate school website, and I'll put our website information in the chat. It's just graduate.appstate.edu, but we have what is called a First Friday event, usually the first Friday in every month. And we definitely encourage our own App State students to participate. And again, if you want to schedule an individual Zoom session with our office, you can definitely do that. And we are more than happy to assist you. In regard to the testing center, again, that's on the second floor of the John Thomas building. So just make sure to keep that in mind. And then also, again, Victoria Carberg, as I mentioned, I'll put her name in the chat and my name, so you will have our contact information. But even if you have an idea which graduate programs that you're interested in, we can help you with those connections and walk you through the entire process. So it's not something that we definitely want you to be apprehensive about at all. And I believe everyone that's participating on this call to be a significant resource, at least for you. But again, we're here to help. We just want to make sure to help you create a plan early, help you execute that plan, and then move through the application process. So just make sure to keep that in mind. But thank you so much. Again, a lot of options in regard to graduate programs at Appalachian. We have over 80 graduate programs. That includes our degree-seeking programs, our certificate programs. If you've never heard of certificate, a certificate at the graduate level is very similar to a minor program at the undergraduate level. So as an undergraduate student, some of you might be pursuing a minor, so you have your major, then your minor. At the graduate level, you would pursue what is called a certificate program. So it's kind of like an add-on or additional coursework that you can take in a specialized field that you have an interest in. So again, lots of options, but thank you so much for your time. I'm going to pass the baton to Geraldine and let her go ahead and inform you on a few things, and then I'm going to put my name and my colleague's name in the chat. So if you have any questions, just know we'll be in touch.
Cam, I see you raised your hand, so go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, so back to one of the things you were saying in the beginning about the timeline, the way it all works, Dontrell.
Yeah.
So my goal, what I had pictured in my mind, I should be able to graduate with my undergrad in 3 years, and then my goal was to pursue and get my master's in the 4th. Is that not possible? Can you only get it within 5 years?
Well, actually, for you, if you're accelerating, graduating early, then yeah, I think that time that time frame was still, you were just one of the cool anomalies in the fact that you will graduate early. So that just means you can get started earlier. So no, that's definitely not a problem. And I think most people would probably prefer to be in your boat, if possible, to finish in 3 versus finishing in 4. So yeah, so that timeline to agree would still apply to you, or you can still do that, even though you're graduating early, which is good.
And this question might be a question for within my actual department, but on top of that plan, to graduate from the construction management, or not the department, but to graduate with a construction management degree, I have to do an internship. And so my plan, like I've done summer school last semester, I'm doing summer school this semester, and then I'll do traditional school the following semester, or the following 2 semesters. And then my plan was to do my internship in the summer of 2022, but graduate in May. Is that possible to walk in May and then still do your internship and then come back for my master's in August of 2022?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You definitely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be considered an August graduate, but you would be able to walk in May, Cam, and then do that internship. And then your technical graduation date on your transcript will be August for your undergraduate degree, but then would be able to start those graduate classes that fall.
Sweet. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions before I take over? Okay, cool. So I am going to also share my screen, and I just have just kind of going to walk you through some of the resources here at the Career Development Center that we have online, but then also show you how to make that appointment with your career coach, or to be able to reach out to me if you want to talk about, again, that like military to civilian translation. And so we have at the Career Development Center, careers.appstate.edu, we have a whole tab worth of resources for students. So where I am right now is this graduate and professional school resource, but you can see more in depth on interviewing, some information in regards to resumes and cover letters. And then we do have here in this resources for underrepresented students and identity groups. We do have a military specific website as well. So I'll actually go to that one, so you can kind of see what we've got going on there. A lot more that are job specific. And so here's just a little information, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. So our student veterans page. This is going to talk a little bit about what some of those resources are outside of the Career Development Center. I'm sure some of you are aware of these as well, but I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of this page being here, as well as my contact information, so you can reach out to me, of course. And then, but back to this graduate school page. So we have some information here in regards to planning. So if you are earlier in your career and thinking about grad school, this is a good place to think about what are some of the things I can be doing now to prepare for graduate school, right? And to make myself a good candidate in regards to the classes I've taken and the relationships that I've made within the classroom, but as well as maybe in some clubs and organizations. And then of course, across offices on campus. And then we do have a little bit of information on those graduate admissions tests and preparing for those. Some information in asking for those recommendations. Usually a graduate school will ask for about 3 letters of recommendation, typically from a faculty member or a previous employer. And so we'll talk a little bit about asking for those and what to let your recommender know that you're expecting from that. And then the entrance essay, or that personal statement that a lot of institutions ask for. This is a big part of where a lot of students come for some guidance. And so within here, so each of these had like this learn more that'll take you to another site. So, but in here, this talks a lot about how you can think about what to write into this statement. So a lot of times the school will give you a prompt as to what they want you to write, but that might just be like, tell us why you're interested in this program, right? And so sometimes that's a little bit of a very broad request. And so this is going to help you just kind of think about what are some of the things that you want to put into this statement, and then also how to structure it, and the style of this personal statement, if you will, or entrance essay. I also encourage you to, of course, meet with your coach, but then also the Writing Center is a really great resource as well for you to visit in regards to your personal statement. And then another tab in regards to the interviewing piece of it. And so some programs will also ask you to interview with the program coordinator within that degree, that area that you're seeking that degree in. And so this has a little bit of information in regards to what some of those interviews may look like. And then our big interview, which is a online way for you to be able to practice interviewing. So you can log into Big Interview with your Appalachian credentials and then do a mock interview for graduate school. And it will record you, and you can then like look at it and give yourself some feedback, kind of reflect on how you did, but then also share the interview with others for them to review. So you can send it to me or your career coach. You can send it to your family or friends or whomever to kind of give you some feedback on that interview. You can, of course, also request an appointment with your career coach. And so that's here over in Handshake, which is our career management system, appstate.joinhandshake.com. And again, you log in with your Appalachian credentials here. And this is a good place for the jobs and the different events that we have going on campus or virtually right now. But then also this is where you're going to make that appointment. So if you click on the Career Center tab up in the right corner, and then on appointments, you'll be able to make that appointment with your career coach based off of what college you're a part of. So then you choose your college, and then you can choose this grad school service year gap year option. Or if you're specifically wanting to talk about that resume or personal statement, you can pick that one as well. And then that'll allow you to make that appointment with your career coach. If you are not College of Fine and Applied Arts or School of Music, and you want to connect with me, then you can email me directly. And I will share my contact information in the chat as well. So that was really all I wanted to talk about, just kind of give you an idea of what resources are out there for you. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have in regards to the Career Development Center. Good. I knew I was perfect. Thank you. And then, John Charles, I guess I'll throw it back to you, and maybe we'll just open for general questions, or if there's anything else to add. Or Jennifer, if you want to talk a little bit about paying for grad school and how that might work, I don't know.
Sure. So I put a couple of items in the chat a minute ago regarding the fact that the VA will cover the cost of standardized tests and or credentials. So if you have a licensure required for, your career path of CAM, if you want to get your contractor's license, the VA would pay for that examination in a reimbursement type situation. Additionally, any institution that you choose to attend, checking with their school certifying official, whether you stay with us or choose another institution, to double check whether or not those programs are covered by the GI Bill is always an important first step if you plan to use those benefits while you are pursuing graduate school. At Appalachian, all of our graduate programs, including our graduate certificates, are approved for VA education benefit funding. So all we would have to do is make a change in the system to reflect graduate student status versus undergraduate student status. The primary difference in payment between the two, particularly for the post 9/11 GI Bill, is that full-time enrollment is 9 credit hours for graduate students versus 12 for undergraduate students. So to maintain your full benefits, you would need to be enrolled in at least 9 hours as a grad student. For PhD programs, I think you mentioned, Luke, the school gets to dictate what is full-time for that program. So if 6 hours is considered full-time for your cohort, then the school would report it as such for benefit usage. Beyond that, graduate assistantships and regular financial aid are options for individuals if you are exhausting your benefits before you finish that graduate program. And Dontrell, I think you may have more information about those assistantships, but definitely want to put that out there as an option.
Yeah, most definitely. With the assistantships, when students are submitting an application, they are asked a question on the application if they want to be considered for assistantships. So scholarships, you definitely want to check yes to that particular box, and then you can be considered for those. Typically for the scholarships and for the assistantship, you want to submit, if at all possible, you want to submit a complete application by early March. But with our assistantships, that are offered, some of the assistantships are within the specific graduate program, and some are outside, of course, of the graduate program. So it just depends on what opportunities are available to you and what you're interested in. But as far as assistantships, yes, definitely check the box you want to be considered, and then to just make sure to look for any particular types of aid that you can find.
That's all I had on paying for it.
That works. That works. Does anyone else have any other questions at all that you can think of?
I had two quick questions for Jennifer. I had read somewhere that if you're in certain STEM fields, the GI Bill has a benefit extension for like a couple more years. Is that true? Have you know anything about that?
It's called the Edith Norse, I think it is, STEM scholarship. And what they do is extend if your undergraduate program exceeds 122 hours or 120 hours. So they're willing to extend the GI Bill through the end of that program if you don't have enough benefits to reach the end of it. It
So
effectively,
that would apply for graduate school.
It's for undergraduate degrees.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. I can't think of anything else, at least at this particular point in time. I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for setting aside time to be here, and just know we're here as a resource. So I definitely want you to sit there and think, well, and have questions and think that, you can't ask us or reach out. So just know that we're definitely here. And I have one last quick question for Geraldine and Jennifer, for you two. Is there anything that I guess I need to be mindful of or keep in mind as it relates to your office or things that are upcoming? Geraldine, I know I take a look at the events website, at least for students, and looking for, upcoming virtual events and upcoming fairs. So I'll definitely have that covered. But is there anything else I need to be mindful of to support you all in your programming and what you have going on?
We are actually going to be participating in a virtual college fair through the UNC system next month. I've got Jane Dowdy already on the hook for that, Dontrell, but definitely more is better. I'm not going to complain if you want to participate too. As we get additional information about that, I'll certainly share that so that you can be aware, and that will be for all military affiliated individuals who are interested in any UNC system school. One thing I did think of that's kind of pertinent to the accelerated admissions process is the way the VA looks at enrollment. So the VA requires that all classes that students take on the GI Bill be required for the degree plan. So in the case of accelerated admissions, that can look a little funny because you're taking graduate level courses to replace undergraduate courses. And my, request as you're working with colleges and departments is to really keep them aware of the fact that degree works should be updated as frequently as possible for those students who are taking graduate coursework in place of their undergraduate coursework, so that we're able to adequately, certify their enrollment. The same is the case for regular financial aid. We're often reaching out to those departments to get documentation that the courses are required. So as we continue to move forward and encourage more participation in accelerated admissions, those departments being mindful of those expectations would be awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. That's all I have. I don't have anything else. Geraldine, you have anything else?
No, just thanks y'all for joining us today. And this recording will be made available. So if you have friends who are like, dang it, I missed it, then we'll get it out to them for sure.